Hello witches, welcome back. I know this video is probably a little dark, but this is not one that you need to watch. It is just to listen to. And I don't know that I'm going to be sitting here the whole time. I might move around the house because I get the feeling that this video is going to be a little bit longer, which means that I might not stay up here the whole time. I'm in my little witchy area, but it is getting warmer up here. Obviously, roof is right there, and there's not too much you can do about this space getting really hot. And it's like 1,000 degrees in Chicago. It's cloudy right now and a little dark, and it was supposed to rain. It did not, but it is so hot here, and it is going to get very hot up here. Luckily, not so much at 7 in the morning, but I know that as this day goes on, it's going to get a lot warmer. And I have no idea how long this video is going to be. It is your guess as good as mine. I am going to chat about the follow-up to the last video that I did, where I talked about books and reviewing my goals that I set for 2024. And I talked about the mid-year freakout and not having done everything that I want to, or feeling like I'm not making enough progress on my goals. And a lot of you resonated with that. So I'm sorry that you all do the same mid-year panic and like redo all of your goals going into July as well. But at least we are all in the same boat. So that's what I am going to chat about today, is a little more about the panic, where it's coming from, and where I am going with that. So the idea is that I'm going to change my goals because I'm not at the same place that I was when I set those at the end of December 2023. And by change, I mean just like add a bunch and get rid of the other ones. So that's super fun. And I feel like that's great, right? I'm like, I have no time. And that's why I haven't been getting anything done, is because I have no time. So let's add more. Let's add more goals. That absolutely makes sense. Some of these are going to be witchcraft related. Some are not. Some it's like interwoven in there. We'll get into all of that, and I will try to do timestamps down below of like the different goals that I'm going to talk about. Let's talk about the big why. Why am I changing goals? Why am I adding more? And that's because this mid-year point has given me a lot more focus. I have made progress on a lot of the goals, and I have just been able to further define what I want to do and what success on that goal will look like. So it's easier for me to figure out at the end of the year exactly where I want to be in order to consider that goal like done or continue into 2025. I just have a better idea overall of what that should look like. And I don't want to waste time anymore on goals that I don't want to do. So one of the goals that I don't think I've really talked about that I set at the beginning of 2024, I had 8 overall goals. And one of them was to celebrate in like a bigger way and also like document it every Sabbath. And I've failed completely on that. And I realized I just don't want to do it. So I am just completely getting that off the list. So it's things like that. Like I just don't want to waste time on something that I don't want to do. I am in a current phase of declutter, organize, clean, revamp. I love getting rid of clutter. I think there's like going on Instagram about why millennials like hate clutter so much, and it's showing like the houses that we grew up in the 80s and 90s, and just how there's like kitschy stuff everywhere. Shockingly, my parents' house was not like that. I think I have shown what the house looks like, and it's very much been the same since I was little. They never had that stuff. My mom does not like clutter either. So that it's always looked very minimal. My mom is very good at stuffing things in closets though. So it's hidden clutter. It's always looked very minimal. There's really nothing on the walls. Didn't hang up like artwork or things like that. So my house did not look like that growing up, but every single one of my friends, I know exactly what people are talking about when they post those pictures, because all of their houses looked like that. So I didn't get it from my parents, but overall, I just love not having clutter. The more stuff you have and don't really think about, the more that you have to like clean and maintain it. And that just is a lot of mental energy. So it's physical stuff that I'm getting rid of, but I'm also decluttering like my mental load in terms of what's on my computer and social media and stressful people in my life. I just want to get rid of all of those things, mainly to reduce my stress load. I know you can't tell, on screen. And I don't think anybody in my real life, other than maybe my mother, can tell, but my hair has been falling out like crazy. And I know exactly what it is because my hair has done this before. And it's called telogen effluvium. And this is like my stress reactor. So when I get stressed and I have a big stressful event, my hair will fall out like 3 months later. And my stressful event was Hawkeye's health scare in February and March, where they basically told me, like, I went to the vet, the emergency vet, and they told me that she's not going to make it through the night. Spoiler, she did. She's okay. And that just like sent me through a spiral, tailspin. I have had her my entire adult life, so I don't know how to function without her. So I completely panicked, and that is directly related to 3 months later, my hair falling out like crazy. Maybe getting to like the halfway point, but you can't tell because my hair is, I have a lot of it and it's super thick and I always have, but I love my hair and I hate when this happens. It has happened to me before after very stressful events. So I know what it is and there's nothing that you can do about it. You can, try like Rogaine and things, but it's just the cycle of the hair. It's in the dormant phase, so it's going to fall out. It sent everything into the dormant phase because when you have a stress response, your body wants to protect everything essential in your organs, and your hair is not one of those essential things. So it has definitely been suffering from that. And one of the ways to combat that is, first of all, to not stress about it, which I'm stressing about it. Of course I am. But also to like reduce the stress in the rest of your life. And I can't exactly do that with like work with my day job right now. So instead, we are doing it with the stuff around the house and my goals and everything else, and just getting to the point where any sort of stress is sort of necessary and unavoidable and not as bad as what I was going through before. So that is a huge part of why I am revamping things. One of the ways that I wanted to talk about that I sort of figure out where I want to go and not go is I got this great planner. It's on Amazon and it is, I will link it below. I left it downstairs. So maybe if we continue this video downstairs, I will show you, but I will link it on Amazon and I will link Amy's channel. But it is from a YouTuber, Amy Rebecca. And I love her. She is just the sweetest thing. And she does all sorts of life reset, figuring out like goal setting videos. And it's not just like sitting down and talking about how to set goals and things. It's mostly like related to how she does it in her life, like giving real life examples. And she's just so fun to watch. So I will definitely link Amy's channel below. But also she released this planner when she went through a very dark time in her life and felt like she hit rock bottom. She started a This Time Next Year challenge. So the planner is called the This Time Next Year planner. And it's essentially a workbook of, you think about the next 365 days and you think about where you want to be at this time next year, exactly what it sounds like. So you write down your thoughts and goals. There's lots of like work pages in there. She has them on her website as well if you don't want to get the entire planner. And she walks through everything in like various videos on her YouTube channel. And you plan out all of these things and write up as if you were already there. What does your best self look like in 1 year? Where do you want to be? And you write down your goals. As witches, we know all about this, manifesting and positive affirmations and writing in the present tense. And that is a big part of witchcraft and spells and rituals, is to do that manifestation work. And that's what this planner is. It's manifesting what you are going to be in next year. And a lot of the goals that were on my 2024 list when I started didn't line up with where I want to be at this time next year. So I got her planner in the mail and I started it June 1st. So a little bit ahead of the mid-year freak out, but still in line for when I normally freak out. And I have some great ideas of where I want to end up that are much more in line with what I'm doing now and how I want to feel about my life and stress levels and what I want to be doing. And that includes changes in my witchcraft practice. So all of those things kind of meld together because I am one of those witches who I don't really separate them. It's just a part of my life. Like I do the coffee ritual every morning. I don't think about it being witchcraft. It's not like in my mind, like, oh, I'm doing a spell right now. It's just a part of my day and it's very much integrated and I don't really think about it. I do have a goal on that on the list. That's for in the future. But that workbook has been incredibly helpful in figuring out where I want to go. And then there's actual like planner pages, and she has a list. It's like a few pages of, there's like a line for every single day for the next 365 days. And you write down one thing that you did each day, just like a tiny baby step that will get you closer to the goals that you set of where you want to be next year. So that is what I was doing in June, and that helped solidify this mid-year freak out and changing my goals and what I wanted to be doing. And I got the bright idea. I was chatting with my friend Betsy. You've seen her on the channel before. I've shown her in vlogs and things where we go like watch her husband's band and stuff. And we always do goals together. She is my goal setting buddy. If you don't have one of those in your life, I really hope that you can find one and get one. And if you don't, I will be one for you. Come over and join the Patreon community. There's lots of us there. And she is my buddy that I chat with about doing all kinds of goals. She's got her own list going too. And I was telling her that in 2025, like I was already thinking about it when I started working on Amy and Rebecca's planner, that I want to do 25 goals in 2025. And she was like, well, that's a lot. And also, why don't you just start now? If you're like really thinking about it and making the list and you've got all these like goals figured out, why don't you just start on them? Why do you have to wait for January 1st? And I thought, yes, you're a genius. So let's talk about that. That's my plan. 25 goals by the end of 2025. So originally I was going to work on them just next year, but some of them I am going to start now. So it will be a year and a half to finish 25 goals by the end of next year. So I do actually have a list of 25, 24, 25. There's like one that I'm not sure on about splitting up. And some of them I am going to keep just to 2025, mainly the health and fitness ones, because I do still want to continue my no spend year. Nothing is changing with that. And I have different financial goals that I want to do in 2025 that are still about not spending and saving money. But the way that I've like worded them and set them up, it's essentially still like a no spend year and like a different way of saving, but it just makes sense to keep that in 2025. So the financial goals, nothing is changing. We are sticking with no spend year, even though June has been a fail. I'm not quitting. I am just getting back on the wagon. And the other one is various health goals, because I am good with still like what I'm doing right now. That was one of my 2024 goals, was weight loss, and then like health and fitness, like improving my diet and exercise. And I have been doing those things, and I want to continue with what I'm doing. And then I have different health and fitness goals that are related more to like step count and things like that that I will do in 2025. And it's like tracking like how many steps each month and things. So those don't need to be on my current list, but pretty much everything else I'm going to go ahead and start now. So let's get into what these actual goals are. Let's start with the Simplify Organize section, because that is what I was just talking about. And I have 3 things there, and they're really about like physical clutter mostly. First of all is to declutter 25 things. And if you have watched previous vlogs, I have been doing that because we had a yard sale on June 1st. So we got rid of like a ton of stuff. But I still feel like there's stuff in my own personal possessions that aren't exactly right and exactly what I want, not what I need right now. So when I say declutter 25 items, I don't mean just like trash or using things up. I mean like bulky things that are in my life that have been bothering me. Toaster. That's going to be one. We have not used the toaster since we moved into this house. Why did we even bring it with us? I have no idea. We moved into this house in 2016, by the way. Have not used the toaster since. I don't eat toast. I don't eat bread. So I don't eat bagels. I don't like them. So there's nothing that I like put in the toaster, and my husband doesn't either. That's just not really something that we eat. And we also have an oven and an air fryer, both of which would make toast on the off chance that we actually needed that. So it's just been bothering me. It sits in the cabinet with like the dog food and treats and stuff. And I'm like, why is this here? Every time I open it, it annoys me. That's going to be the first thing on my declutter 25 things list. But it's things like that just bug me. I really need to go through and fix that. And I think there's a lot of things in the garage. That's sort of one area that we haven't really touched, because that's where we stack all of the Halloween decor. And it's a bit messy. And I would like to tackle that and get rid of a bunch of things in there. That is something that, yes, I could find 25 things in the calendar year of 2025, but why not start now with things that are bothering me, like the toaster. Speaking of the using up, I just said it's not going to count for the decluttering 25 things, but I am going to use up 25 things because I am very guilty of this, and I know a lot of you are too, where you save things for a special occasion, like perfume or high-end makeup, like fancier items, like fancy shampoo that you just don't use on a daily basis because you're saving it for special occasions. And that's silly because products go bad. And I am absolutely guilty of that. I've done that so many times where I'm like, I'm not going anywhere today. I don't need to wear the makeup, even though I like it. I don't think everybody needs to wear makeup every day. If you don't like it, don't. But I do enjoy it. And I'm like, why am I not wearing it? Because I think it's a waste of a day. That's silly. I enjoy doing it. It's like playing around and being artistic. So why am I not? So that, and then perfume, I'm like, oh, I'm only going to the grocery store. Why would I put this on? Because it goes bad eventually. Like, how long does a perfume last? Years. But I mean, it's not going to last 3 decades that it's going to take me to use if I'm only using it once a week. That's crazy. So that is something on my list, is to start concentrating and using up products. So I want to use up 25 items. So skincare, makeup, like I said, perfume, hair care stuff, just like disposable items, not food, but other, products that I'm normally using. I need to use up 25 items. And the last thing on the simplify and organize list is to simplify 25 things. And again, those are not physical items. That declutter and use up list is separate. This is like simplifying my inbox, my social media accounts, simplifying just like things in my life where I'm like making it too complicated. I am absolutely guilty of that, where I will, plan a day and schedule everything down to the minute. It does not need to be that complicated. So I really want to simplify things in my life, to streamline a little bit better. Simplify, I don't know, like what I'm carrying in my purse. Do I need everything that's in there? Probably not. I'm just making it harder on myself. And I feel like that will clear up a lot of mental stress. So if you have anything that fits on that list of things that you have simplified in your life that you have felt great relief from, do let me know, because I am interested. I have no idea what those 25 will be. I have like 3 things in mind, and then I don't know what I'm doing after that. So do let me know. Just 2 friends and family related ones. First of all is to have 25 dates with John, my husband. And I know that a lot of you are going to say that you live together and you don't have kids. Isn't every night a date night? It's not, and you know it. So I mean specific dates where we plan them out and actually spend time together, because that is hard to do when you are working, and also when you get into a routine of like what you do in the evenings as far as like cooking dinner and watching TV, and you get on that sort of like routine schedule, you don't plan any new things. So when I originally was thinking about doing that in 2025, that would be 2 things a month, 25. But I don't know that that is realistic, because there's some months where we could do like a date night every week. And then there's some months, like the summer months, where it's just not June, July, and then most of August is just going to be out. Like we're not going to be able to do anything. Those are busy months for both of us. So I thought it would be better to start it now, and then we have like the fall season and then all of next year as well to plan 25 specific dates. And likewise, I want to plan 25 visits with my friends. Family is just my mom, and she is over here all the time. When she's here, she spends at least 6 months in Florida. But when she's here, like she is right now, she comes over almost every day. She loves doing yard work in my house. So we're always out there like cleaning up and doing gardening every morning. So that is not a concern. But with my friends, even though they don't live that far away, maybe like 20, 30 minutes, I see them a lot when, usually in the spring and summer, we have like street fest and things going on, and then I have a Halloween party in the fall that I see them for. But I think November to March, I don't see them at all, which is crazy because I have the time, but we just don't have events going on, and it's cold, so they don't want to leave their house, but I like the cold, so I'll just go to their house. So I want to plan 25 specific visits to actually see them and spend time with them. One goal that is on my current list, and I am further defining with this one and going to continue into 2025, is my social media related goal. I really wanted to spend less time on that this year, and I have done so well. I only have Instagram, and I don't spend any time there at all. Really, with my Witchcraft one, I only check in, I was going to say once a week, but that's a lie, once every 2 weeks. But on my personal one, I have muted a lot of people, so it doesn't stress me out to log in. But then I do still like scroll through the like For You page or whatever it is, of like the top posts, and I lose track of a lot of time there. So I think how I'm going to further define that goal rather than a specific time limit is a day limit, and to only have 25, or I'm going to have 25 no social media days a month, which would equate to about one check-in a week. And that is going to include my personal Instagram and my Witchcraft Instagram. So I'm thinking Thursdays, since the podcast episodes go up on Wednesdays, if there's any like thing that I need to promote or people asking questions about it, then I think Thursdays are the day for that. And I think for the rest of the week, I'm going to just uninstall the app, because that will make it less likely that I'll just randomly open it and start scrolling and spend too much time there just looking at random nonsense. I do feel like I've done pretty well at my, limit social media goal for this year so far, but I could do better. And I think that's what I'm going to do, is have 25 days a month, no social media, totally social media free. And I think I'm going to delete the app on those days. Two other goals in that category that's sort of like this self-care area are going to be 25 self-care days, like dedicated days. Sometimes I'll like throw a face mask on, but the rest of my day is chaos. So I would like to have 25 dedicated days where like the entire thing is self-care. So I'm just like reading all day and enjoying and doing what I want to do. And that might include doing some self-love spell work and things. So 25 dedicated days. And I was thinking about doing that in 2025, and that would be 2 days a month. And again, I think I need more time on that one. So we're going to be starting that July 1st. Along with that is going to be doing 25 things just because they make me happy. I am so bad at that. Normally I'm great at like putting myself first and meeting my needs, because I firmly believe that if you don't put yourself first, who's going to? Like you have to love yourself the best. I have never struggled with self-confidence. My mother will tell you. But I don't usually do things just because they make me happy. It's usually because it's productive in some way. It meets some sort of goal. Other people are doing it. It would make my friends or husband happy. Like there's usually some underlying thing. And if it's just something like, oh, I want to go to this event because it would make me happy, I will sometimes not do it because I'm like, oh, nobody can go with me, or there's nobody else is looking forward to it as much as I am. So it's kind of a waste of time. Like it's not, if it's going to make just me happy, I'm okay with that. So I want to do 25 things just for the sole fact that they make me happy, even if there's no other reason for it. And then I have two last categories, which are learning and other, they just didn't fit anywhere, and witchcraft. So I'm going to save the witchcraft goals for the end, and let's talk about learning other. The two that I want to do that's like a continuation of what I'm already doing is to read 25 great books and to write 25 great book reviews. I do get a lot of ARCs and PR books, and then I write reviews for them on Goodreads or on Amazon, publisher websites, whatever it is. And I would like to really hone that craft of writing really good, helpful book reviews. And I think I can do 25 in the calendar year of 2025, but if I start now, that's fine too. But something that I really need to work on in association with that is to read 25 great books, because I don't have that many 5-star reads for this year. I have such trouble with DNFing books. And that means did not finish. I will get to like 10%, 20% and think like, this is not good. This is not going to be a high star rating. But instead of just quitting it, I just keep going. Like I have this block in my brain that does not let me quit things. And I have to finish it. And I waste so much time on books that are a disappointment and were from the start. Like I should have known better. I did know better. And I did not follow my instinct, intuition, and just quit them. So I need to flex that DNF muscle and just be able to quit books and also be able to quit series. That has been a struggle as well. Whereas like the first book was, okay, or maybe even good, like a 3-4 star. And then I continue the series and I don't end up liking the second book. And then for some reason I have to finish the third or whatever the rest of the series is. Because again, I just don't want to quit and I kind of want to see what happens, but I need to stop doing that. If I know that I'm not going to like it, I have to quit. And this just came up in the book reviews that you watched in the last video where I said, the A Broken Blade series. I read the second book, and I don't think I'm going to do the third. I think I just need to quit that because I didn't like either of those books. And the Kate Golden series, The Dawn of Onyx, I knew in the first book that I didn't like it. Why did I read the next two? I don't know. I should not have. It just was not for me. And I knew that, and I still wasted that time reading that book. So I need to learn to DNF. And I think by doing that, having this goal on there of reading 25 great books that I am excited to read and go into anticipating that it's going to be a 5-star read, which I have a list of. I have like a whole want to read list on Goodreads, and it is a lot of epic fantasy, which is my favorite genre. I do like romantasy, but specific authors like Sarah J. Maas and Jennifer L. Armentrout. I like them, and then there's some other ones that are just like a miss. But I do find myself enjoying epic fantasy more. So that it's just more like adult. There's more themes and politics. So that would be like Brandon Sanderson, and like the Game of Thrones would be epic fantasy. I have a list of those that I am anticipating are going to be 5-star reads that have been like highly recommended by other people who read in the same genre. And I have that going, and I want to get to those, and I'm expecting those to be great reads. So I need to prioritize those and less of these little books and series that I've been doing that have been such a disappointment. I would also like to try 25 new things. I'm always stuck in my ruts, and I don't like change. I've talked about that all the time. So I tend to not try new things. I don't try new foods or drinks or activities. I just don't like new stuff. So I'm going to challenge myself to try 25 new things. I would also like to learn about 25 new things, but this one is fun for me because I think it's a very Scorpio trait to do like the deep dive where you get so intensely focused on something for a couple weeks or a month, and then you don't think about it again. But I like that process of learning, like the deep dive research and finding out everything. And then even if it's not something I continue to care about, the fun was in the research and learning part. So I have a list of things going, and that includes like random topics, but also like witchcraft. There's like little things that I've picked up in books, and I'm like, ooh, I want to look more into that topic. I need to find like a dedicated book on that. So I have lots of little ideas going of 25 things that I want to learn about. And again, I think this is one that I could have done only in the calendar year of 2025, but it is nice to have this extra 6 months to really work on things and find fun topics. Something that goes along with that of like the learning new things and trying new things is I would like to find 25 dedicated YouTube channels to watch, because that is my preferred method of consuming content. Like I said, I don't like social media. I like longer form content. And I'm not great at listening to audiobooks. I get very distracted when I listen to audiobooks. I just find myself zoning out for 10 minutes and then I missed like a huge chunk of the story. So YouTube videos tend to be better for me. And I would like to find 25 dedicated channels to watch, including the ones that I watch already, but it's only like 7. So I would like to round out that content, and that will help me learn about new things and do more deep dives. I am not including witchcraft channels in that because I already follow like a ton of witchcraft channels, not included in that 7 that I just listed. But I have a ton of like YouTube witch friends, and I watch all of their channels, so I have like enough content on that front. I'm talking like outside of witchcraft, of different things to watch and learn about. So if you have anything to recommend, any channels that you love, down in the comments, do let me know. I want to see what's out there. I am going to be getting rid of some channels that I watch in an effort to simplify and like get rid of stress. Like, let me give you an example. Obese to Beast. I love him. He's fantastic and love the videos. But then some of the content or like people that he reacts to, it's like rage bait or like rage inducing. And even though he provides like great helpful commentary and, you know, he's really patient and understanding in how he reacts to things, like when I'm watching the original content, it just stresses me out too much. So even though he has helpful advice in there, I have to quit that for a little while because I can like feel my blood pressure rising when I watch some of that stuff. That also applies to 2 other reactionary ones that I watch, which are Kiana Doherty, I think is how you pronounce her last name, and Hannah Alonso. I really love them, and they're great in their commentary that they do, but what they're reacting to is like rage-inducing. I've mentioned Hannah Alonso before, and she reacts to MLM content. I hate MLMs. They're disgusting and predatory. And I love watching her content, but then like what she is reacting to is also like so rage inducing. I'm like, I can't listen to any more MLM content right now. It's insane. And she also reacts now to influencer insanity and influencers on Instagram. And that's like what I am trying to avoid. So unfortunately, I have to quit her for the moment. And Kiana is the same way, where she reacts to some of the same content as Obese to Beast. And I'm like, I can't watch this right now. I have to take a break from those. So less dramatic reactionary content, and more like learning about things. I love BookTube. So if you have any favorite booktubers to watch, because I am easily influenced, and that's why I don't want to be on Instagram, because I don't want to buy anything. I'm trying to, not spend this year and to declutter. So I don't want to be influenced to purchase things. So any channels that influence me to purchase, one of the guilty is the Home Edit. They have a YouTube channel now. But on Instagram, I had to unfollow them because I want to buy all the organizers. I don't want to, because I don't want to have stuff that I have to organize. That's the point. Like, I just want to get rid of the stuff and then I don't have to organize it. But their organizers are so cute, and the way that they do everything makes it look so pretty. And then they influence me to buy stuff, so I can't follow them. But BookTube, I do not have that problem because I will just get the stuff from the library. And I usually will read some, unless I'm really sure that it's going to be a winner, or like want to, complete the series. Like John pre-ordered the third in this Fourth Wing, Onyx Storm. Doesn't come out till January, but he pre-ordered it because I want it, and I'm going to complete the collection, and I like them. But otherwise, I will read it from the library first. And then if I really love it and I think I'm going to reread it, then I will add it to the collection in the shelves behind me. So that is something that I'm influenced to put it on my list and to read it, but not to purchase it or like create clutter from it. So I really like BookTube for that reason. But yes, no channels that make me want to shop. I enjoy BookTube. I enjoy decluttering content, of course. Organizing if it's not influencing you to buy something, like I said. I love like car travel, traveling in your like car or van. For some reason, I think it's like the organizing a small space, or like living in a small space, that appeals to me, even though I'm never going to live in my car. But usually it's like solo travel that I like on that. I don't like family channels at all, but family channels that do that and like force their kids into an RV and they like travel all over the place in such a small space. And like, teenagers need privacy and space and friends. I don't know what else to tell you. So I don't like channels like that. But if it's like solo car travel, some of the channels that I do like are Rosa. She is currently backpacking the something that goes from like Mexico to Canada over in like California, Pacific Crest or something like that. So she's not posting as often, but normally I like her content. Simple enough. I love her content. She's living in a van in order to save money to buy land. Great content over there. I mentioned I like Amy Rebecca for her goal setting and lifestyle things. As far as BookTube, I like Carrie Can Read, Sid Bookworm, Reads with Rachel. I will try to, if I remember to tag all of these, or like all of these in the comments or down in the description down below, I will do that. As far as other content, I've been following Jenny Middich and Lauren Knight Hughes. They've been really great lately, of just like learning about a totally new topic as far as carnivore diet. So some really great like health information over there. So lots of ones that I enjoy their content. But as far as like subscribed to, I'm only like, there's about like 7 like different ones right now. So I'm like watching other channels and things, and still picking up. And then if I decide that I enjoy enough stuff, I'm going to subscribe to them. So that's the long-winded version of the goal of finding 25 YouTube channels to subscribe to. And last is my witchcraft goal. I guess we are going to finish this video up here. Let's just do it. I think this still might be a long one because it's already like 7:35. So this might already be long, but let's just finish it out. And my witchcraft, I have 3, maybe 4 of them. I say maybe 4 because the first one is to create 25 YouTube videos that I love. So that means like making dedicated content and specifically about witchcraft, because I feel like that helps me focus in my practice and like share what I want to, and also helps me learn more, because if I have to make the content for a YouTube video, it really helps me focus in studying and learning the thing that I'm going to be talking about. I think they usually say that like the best way to like fully learn or know that you've fully learned a topic is that you're able to teach it to somebody else. So that is what I want to do. And by putting that goal on there of like creating the 25 YouTube videos, that will really help me focus and learn about the new things that I want to, that are on my list of like, let's research this, let's do more. That will help there. And then I also potentially had one of creating 25 Instagram posts and photos that I love. I don't know if I'm going to do that one for sure, just because of my hatred of social media. But I think that is another way to focus my efforts and share content. And if I'm taking like a picture of it, then it will help me in my process that we're going to do in the next video of decluttering and figuring out what I actually like and need and use in my practice, and keep the space clean. If I have to take pictures of it all the time, maybe it'll be cleaner. I don't know. We'll see. That's a maybe one. So then the other two, one is sort of related to that, but it has to do with having 25 dedicated content creation days. So that is podcast work and YouTube work, and that is just going to help me be more focused and organized, and having those dedicated days, again, will help with like that research aspect, but also not like force me to stick to some sort of schedule that I don't like, but just having days where I can like work on whatever I want and prioritizing that, because I don't normally prioritize it now. I just sort of, when I have time, and like throw it in there, but making it more of a priority, I think will help me enjoy the process more. And then last, I think it's going to be a little counterintuitive and not go along with everything else that I've been saying, but I would like to complete and track 25 dedicated spells and rituals. They don't have to be complicated, but I'm talking more than like my morning coffee, but could be as simple as just like a little candle spell. So wide range of what I would consider a spell or ritual, but I would like to prioritize actually doing them. And then I've gotten off of the practice of tracking them. I've always talked about how important a grimoire is and tracking your spells, because how are you going to know what you did and how it manifested if you're not tracking it and not writing down what you did. I've been falling back onto the same spells that I know work and like doing those over and over, rather than branching out and trying anything new. And I would like to try those and then see how that manifests and like track the progression from beginning to end. 25 of them. I am obviously going to be starting with like stress and anxiety spells. So if you'd like to see those, then do let me know. Stress relief. And I would like to try new things. I don't want them to all be in the same realm. And I know that that might sound like I'm making it more complicated. And you're like, Stephanie, you just had a goal of making things less complicated in your life and simplifying 25 things. And now you're going to add 25 spells that you have to track and make them all different. Yeah, that's how my brain works. It's a crazy place up here. So I do want to do it. I think that this idea of going back to that planner of the this time next year challenge of where I want to be, that is more in line with my witchcraft of learning more about my practice and getting to that point next year, of what I envision in my mind of where my practice is going to be in a year. Of course, I can't totally predict that. I don't know, like things will come up and change. Obviously, things have changed since January, or I wouldn't be making this video. And I just think that that will send me on that better path and help me learn again more of where my path is heading and what I like now and the differences and things that have changed and will continue to change. It's just going to help me learn more and help with all those other goals on the list, because I can do the spells and rituals that will help me manifest all the other things that I listed. Those are my thoughts. I had a lot of thoughts. I think those are my goals. So I know that this was a long-winded video. thanks for sticking with me. If you stuck to here till the end, if you did, then hit the like button and subscribe, because that is some dedication to my content and I truly appreciate it. And those things also help the channel as well. So thank you very much for doing that. And do let me know any of your thoughts on these. If you have any similar goals, if you have any thoughts or ideas of how I can complete those, any YouTube channels to watch, like I mentioned, any subjects to dive into, anything that helps you on your self-care days, anything that you do just for the sake of it makes you happy, I would like to know all of those things. Also, if you are freaking out mid-year and changing your goals or adding new ones, maybe not as crazy as, like 25 things times 25. But if you are freaking out and adding your own goals, let me know in the comments, because I would love to actually cheer you on as well, and maybe offer any helpful advice that I have if it's something that I have done in the past. But yeah, that's where I'm heading. Do wish me luck, because I am obviously insane. And like I mentioned, goals that I'm going to keep doing are the still going to read 200 books. I'm going to hit that easily. Let's be honest. I'm like at 127 right now. So we'll be fine. But just, reading better books, ones I'm more excited about. So still going to be doing that and tracking like book reviews every month, and still working on the no spend year. That won't change. And working on my weight loss and health and fitness goals, like as they're going now, improving diet and exercise. Diet has been going well. Weight loss has been going well. I had like 10 pounds that I want to lose. So I think I can do that. 10 additional pounds after like whatever I already lost. So I think I can get there. And I do need to work a little bit more on exercise. I have been like bumping that up. It has been better, but not where I want it to be. So those are the ones that are like sort of staying that I started at the beginning of the year. And then obviously you heard about the ones that are changing, leaving, whatever it is. That is going to be my second half of 2025 or 2024, and then into all of 2025. So I really have my work cut out for me, even though I just talked in the last video about how busy I currently am. So that's my life of chaos. That's my update. So thank you for being here for this video. Next one is going to be decluttering, like ruthless declutter of all of my witchy supplies up here, and a flip through of my grimoire. So I will see you then.